Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is Friday morning, April 24th. Luis, you look like you're in that. You got Miami vibes with the collar popped a little bit, the button down going.
What do you mean? It's my work attire. You're looking like freaking Pete Rose out here with the white ball cap right here, man.
I got the neutral hat. So Kayla and I are going on a trip next week overseas. So I feel like I got to go with the neutral cap over there because I don't want to be, standing out like an American with my Michigan national champion hat or my, Yankee hat. I mean, I guess everyone wears Yankee hats all over the world, but you don't want to stand out too much as an American. So I got this neutral hat and I can wear it on this podcast because we're somewhat neutral. Obviously, I'm a Yankee fan, but I try to stay neutral. So
somewhat neutral. You could just wear, you can wear U.S. Embassy, like my U.S. I think I've worn it on pod, the U.S. Embassy Singapore hat.
I see. That is the most random hat ever. I don't think I would wear that one overseas, especially right now with everything going on in the world.
Talk about the world we're in right now. I mean, what's been going on, William? Anything? I've been busy at work, so I haven't been able to keep up with the news. Anything new with the Schlittler Hormuz?
I feel like it's been the same old this week. It's interesting because the markets are just on fire right now, and that I don't think that necessarily reflects the general economy.
What market? Polymarket?
No. The stock market.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Polymart.
Yeah, no, man. There's so much insider trading going on that freaking app.
No plug. Not trying to plug, but yeah. How have you been? I mean, NFL draft was last night. I got home last night. I DoorDashed. I never DoorDash. I DoorDashed from Chipotle, and I fell asleep on my couch, and I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm up, man. I'm ready to go.
You've been up since 3?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Dear Lord. NFL draft was last night. Kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's cool in concept. It's exciting to see these players, in any draft, like realize their dream, and you see the emotion, especially with your pick. The wide receiver Jordan Tyson was very emotional for the Saints. So, how you feeling about that one? I don't know, but draft, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. You went there a couple years ago. It's kind of boring and it takes too long.
I did. I think we only survived 20 picks in Vegas. It was in Vegas. It was hell on earth. It was about 95 degrees and it was very dry. My lips were chapping and I had Mexican food that did not sit well in my stomach, and we had planned on going to Lil Baby afterwards. So like I was fighting demons between alcohol and trying to make it to Lil Baby at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and it was 7 p.m. local. So again, it's great. I understand what the NFL wants to make it. They want to make it a national event, but I just feel like this year there's just no pop with it. There wasn't any excitement this year. I mean, everybody knew that Mendoza was going number 1 overall to the Raiders, and then number 2 it was Bailey and Reese, and everybody knows the Jets are a dumpster fire. The Jets are gonna jet. It's like the Mets. Like it's just depressing for New York fans that decide to pick Jets and Mets. No wonder they rhyme. But in regards to that, there's just no juice, no prospects this year that you could get up for, and it just kind of seemed like it was kind of like we knew what was gonna happen this year in the first 10 picks, and there was like nothing to be excited about, no trades of that nature. I think the biggest, question mark was where was Jeremiah Love going to go to last night, and he ended up going 3, so it took out the excitement out of that. Excited about Jordan Tyson. We need some juice on this team. Excited to see how he fits into the team. I know Kellen Moore. I don't know if you saw the Twitter clip, but Kellen Moore has a distinct smile. You saw all 36 teeth in that video of him just smiling, just absolutely crazy. Yeah. And the other thing about the draft is there wasn't no crazy draft story this year. Like there's always the Laramie Tunsil's gas mask. There's the CeeDee Lamb when he had to slap the phone out of his girlfriend's hand. There's always some type of story. There wasn't that this year.
Yeah, there wasn't really. I thought Pittsburgh was a good venue to have it. I like the Bears pick, getting the safety. We needed some defense, the guy from Oregon and Purdue. Yeah, it was kind of boring. I was really watching baseball most of the night. I had the draft on the second screen and then watched a little bit of the NBA playoffs as well. But with that, 5 minutes in, I think we should get into the baseball. This is a baseball podcast after all.
What do you think about the Bears pick? Dylan?
I like it. I don't know. Seems like he's going to be a hard-hitting safety.
Fits Chicago pretty well. I just feel like if there was a player in the draft that just fit Chicago's like Midwest safety defense, that's just Chicago to a T.
Yeah, I think they said it was our first defensive pick in the first round since 2018, which was the longest any team had gone without picking Roquan.
Don't tell me to.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. My bad. But yeah, let's get into the baseball. We have a fun podcast planned for you. Going to open up talking about New York Yankees versus Boston Red Sox, the rivalry. Are the Red Sox cooked? We're going to be analyzing their season. Going to be talking, it feels like it's the season of the losing streak so far. So we're going to talk Phillies, who are really struggling right now. We're going to talk about their series with the Cubs, who are absolutely on fire, completely polar opposite teams moving in the complete opposite directions there. Going to be talking about some left-handed sluggers that are just mashing the ball right now and hitting bombs to all sides of the field. And then we're going to go through the rest of the series, talk about, of course, the Mets who break their losing streak, but there's more bad news coming out of Queens this week. They cannot catch a break. Mason Miller continues his dominance. The Rockies, decent series against the Padres, but there was a funny fan interaction there. Giants Dodgers was a fun series. Dalton Rushing, is he MLB's new bad boy? I don't know. We'll talk about that. But Luis, let's start with the Yankees and the Red Sox. I'll let you take the floor because yesterday we watched Cam Schlittler go 8 innings, only 1 earned run against the Red Sox. Yankees sweep them in Fenway for the first time since 2021. It was a great series for the Yankees, and the Red Sox, man, they continue to struggle. They are 9-16 on the season.
That's right, man. The New York freaking Yankees, man. Talk about a team. I feel like I am hot and cold with this team. I feel one day I am an emotional crash out with this team, and another day I am in love with this team. Cam Schlittler, yet again, last night. Let's talk about it. He pitched 8 strong, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, only giving up 1 earned run. Again, I don't know, and I'm going to keep pounding this drum every single podcast episode until I see MLB media and national media pick this up. But why are we not putting Cam Schlittler in the AL Cy Young race? Like, literally, there's no pitcher right now in the American League that is pitching up to his dominance. Number one, Garrett Crochet has been a piñata. We know that. Cam Schlittler right now leads the whole league right now in WAR at 1.7. When you look at his FIP, it ranks second at 1.55. The only dude that's ahead is Dylan Cease. ERA, he's at 1.7, which the only guys better than him are Jose Soriano, which he pitches for the Angels. And yes, he's had a great season, but it's Cam Schlittler. He's pitching on a good team and he's winning starts. Aside from that, he ranks Cam's just had a ridiculous season, and I don't get why we're riding the Skubal and the Crochet train this year. Like, all the guys that you would assume to be in the AL conversation, the Hunter Browns, the Max Frieds, the Skubals, haven't pitched to the level of a Cam Schlittler this year. And consistently, every single start, he brings it. And even, I think a good sign of a pitcher also is, there's been at times this season where we've watched Cam come out and pitch, and he hasn't had his best stuff. I think perfect example was Tampa. In that Tampa series, he pitched, he was not up to par, and he still found a way to keep it manageable, and it was only there was no blow up start. I'm just perplexed as to why we're not putting him in the combo. Is it because he's the Yankee rookie? What's the deal?
Agreed. And if you look at DraftKings right now, pitchers that have better odds to win the Cy Young than Cam Schlittler, Brian Wu, Jose Soriano, and Tarek Skubal. Look, I get it. Skubal is going to be there, but you have to take Cam Schlittler serious as a Cy Young candidate at this point. He has a 1.77 ERA. Like you said, the only pitcher qualified right now across all of Major League Baseball with a better FIP is Dylan Cease. ERA, he's basically tied with Parker Messick, but you actually have Taj Bradley, Bryce Elder, Seth Lugo, but those guys only have 5 starts. Cam Schlittler already has 6 starts. So the only pitcher with a better ERA than him through their first 6 starts is Jose Soriano, who's at a 0.24. He's been one of the best stories of this season so far, don't get me wrong. But to your point, he does play for the Angels. He doesn't necessarily have the track record. And there's a good chance he comes back to earth a little bit. I think Cam Schlittler has the stuff with the 3 different fastballs that he throws to sustain this dominance and really be in the, one of the front runners to win the Cy Young this season. You look at Tarek Skubal yesterday against the Brewers. He got hit around late there in the 6th inning, and the Tigers had to come back and win that one after he left the game. I do think, this is, with Schlittler, it is such a massive Yankee player development win, because when he was drafted out of Northeastern, I think he was like a 5th round pick or something like that, and they developed him, man. He came in low A. He was throwing like 89, 90 on the fastball. Now he's up to upper 90s. He's got those 3 fastballs, like I just said. He's an incredible pitcher. Looked great last night. Gave up 2 runs. One of them was unearned on the Caballero error, and then he did give up the home run to Narvaez, which was, that was a tank. You got to just tip your cap there. That wasn't a good pitch, but for the most part, he's hardly made any mistakes this year. He doesn't walk pit guys at all. He has the best walk rate in all of baseball right now at 1.01. Or sorry, he has the best walks per 9 in all of baseball right now at 1.01. And if you look at the Savant page, it's all red. I think he should be considered a Cy Young favorite. And when you think about this rotation and what it can be for the playoffs, I don't know what order you want to do it. I would make the argument. We haven't seen Garrett Cole pitch yet at the major league level. He's been rehabbing in the minor leagues, but I would make the argument that Cam Schlittler deserves to be, if the Yankees make the playoffs, which they should, the game 1 starter. Game 2, you go Max Fried, and maybe game 3, you go Garrett Cole. We'll see how Garrett Cole looks when he comes back, but I put that top 3 up with any top 3 in the league, even the Dodgers. I feel that good about that rotation right now.
I agree. And I just think the biggest question is we saw this week, I think the catalyst of this week that we have to talk about is how good Yankee pitching was this week. The bullpen was great. The rotation was great. Everybody kind of like Yankee Nation looked at Tuesday night with the Red Sox as the game the Red Sox could win with Gil, and Gil went 6 1/3, 0 earned, 2 strikeouts. He was great. Giancarlo literally is going berserk all week. So my thing is we'll have these discussions later on with when Cole and Rodon get healthy. I think the biggest questions we're going to have is who's your 5 that we're going to carry around the playoffs, not the playoffs, but the regular season, and who is going to be in the bullpen. There's going to be some really tough decisions that are going to have to be made, because when you look at it at a healthy, full strength, you have Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, Luis Gil, Ryan Weathers. 7
Is
guys.
it the deepest rotation in the league? Sorry to interrupt.
Probably.
Is it the deepest rotation in the league?
Probably. It's up there with the Dodgers. I just think that the Dodgers, it's more like Dodgers have more quality. Yankees have more quantity.
In the back half, I would say, potentially. Yeah. Like that's a Cy Young guy. Yamamoto is probably the Dodgers guy that you point to that can win the Cy Young. And Glasnow, man, he was incredible against the Giants yesterday. He can maybe push himself into that conversation. And Ohtani also. So maybe they have 3 Cy Young candidates in the National League as well. And the Yankees right now have Fried and Schlittler, who are Cy Young candidates in the American League. But man, that would be, we're looking way ahead right now, but if those guys match up in the World Series again, a rematch of 2024, that would be an incredible pitching and just pitching matchup and talent in general on display there. So yeah, the Yankees win the series. Ahmed Rosario kind of won the game for the Yankees on Wednesday. You mentioned Max Fried, 8 scoreless in that game, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 100 pitches even. Went away from the windup midway through as he kept walking guys in the windup. The Yankees got the win. Ahmed Rosario had 4 ribbies, drove in all of the runs, had the 3-run shot that I just showed on the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, as a reminder, hit that subscribe button, trying to get to 500 subs before the end of the regular season. And the Yankees limited the Sox to only 5 hits. They scored a garbage time run in the 9th inning. Gil had the good start on Tuesday. Yankees won 4-0. And then 4-2, we mentioned the Schlittler win on Thursday. Any final Yankee thoughts before we kind of pivot to the Red Sox side of the series?
No, I was going to pivot to the Red Sox. I think the Yankees, we always beat that drum every podcast episode. I just think what's up with Boston? Now I'm actually starting to get a little bit concerned with Boston, especially with their big guys. I mean, Jarren Duran hitting 197. I know he had a rough year, but it's looking like, right now, unfortunately, I'm a big Jarren Duran guy, and for what he does for his off the field things that he does with mental health. He's hitting 197. You look at guys like Marcel Meyer hitting 203. Again, the big acquisitions, Monasterio, Calefa, all hitting under 200. And then Roman Anthony. You kind of expected Roman Anthony to take that leap, but the sophomore slump is real, my friends. Roman Anthony's only hitting 225 right now. He does have a .6 WAR, and the lowlights have been very low this year from the outfield with his throws. And you start to ask yourself at this point of the season with the hitting, and it's been documented how the pitching has been this year with how Ranger Suarez has been off to a slow start, and Sonny Gray's now on the IL. It points to you that did we overvalue the Red Sox in ways that we just because of the names of Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray and Ranger Suarez, did we overvalue them? Did we overvalue a small sample size of Roman Anthony and not take account a sophomore slump? Because it's getting concerning. I mean, they look very uncompetitive in these games. They've struggled against other teams recently. So I beg to ask the question to you, William.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Yeah, I mean, when you think about the Red Sox, you look at the lineup. That's their team. It's not like there's anyone coming back from injury that they can point to and be like, well, yeah, we're sucking right now, but hey, we got this guy coming back that, is going to help bolster the lineup. Like, there's nobody coming. There's no one coming to save them. They're tied for dead last in home runs in all of baseball with 14. They have 14 home runs as a team right now. And there's just no one in this lineup that scares you at all because Roman Anthony's not hitting. And I think this offseason was potentially one of the more damaging off seasons for the Red Sox as a franchise, because you just can't quantify how big a loss it was to lose Alex Bregman, not only as a player in that lineup, but also as a leader for the young guys. They have so many young guys on this team. And the way I see it is the Red Sox said this offseason that, hey, Roman Anthony, I know you're only 21 years old, but we're going to put all of the pressure on you to be the franchise guy in your really first full season in the big leagues. We need you to be the MVP candidate and carry this lineup to the playoffs. And we want to win the World Series with you as pretty much the only elite hitter in this lineup. And I just think that is completely, I don't think that's a good strategy as a front office to put that much pressure on a 21-year-old. I think Roman Anthony can get to that point in his career, but I think at this early stage in his career, it would really benefit him to have a guy like Alex Bregman in the clubhouse. I really thought they should have gone after Pete Alonso this winter. I thought that would have been a perfect fit for Fenway Park, and they didn't do it.
We were on that. I just think, personally, sorry to cut you off, I think might be more damaging than making the playoffs last year. It kind of set up that false hope of expectations in the sense that, yes, Roman did come up and have an absurd end of the season and kind of propelled them. Then he gets the injury, but that a lot of, wins accumulated that they were able to sneak in. But I just think that kind of, when you look at what Boston was when we went up there, they were kind of a middling team in the pack when they played Atlanta. And they were kind of just middle of the pack, didn't look like they were going to make it, just there. And, they go on the surge, they make the playoffs, they got hot, and boom, fans are now excited. Roman Anthony is the next building block, gets put into the sense of, the big next face of the franchise type of kid after only a small sample size. Fans want to go all in, and then we're here at this moment right now.
They gave Ranger Suarez $130 million. And look, I like Ranger Suarez as a pitcher, but he's a pitch to contact type of pitcher. He's not going to be your power arm. He's not going to be the guy that gets a bunch of strikeouts. He's going to have those blow up starts. Those pitch to contact guys do.
That's not going to work in AL East ballparks, unfortunately. Maybe it'll work in Camden Yards, but in Boston, especially that you can pull the ball in both directions, it's not going to work. In New York, definitely not going to work. Tampa, if you're pulling the ball in Tampa's one of those weird ballparks. They got voodoo magic out there. Again, it's not going to work.
And look, I thought Tolle looked really good last night. He brought some real juice. He was grunting after every pitch, showed a lot of emotion. As a Yankee fan, he was annoying as hell, but he gave them the energy that they needed. And I feel like that would have been a good springboard for them to win the last game of the Yankee series. Tolle brings them some juice. But no, it's the bullpen that falters late in the game, and they lose it.
You know what's crazy? I was looking at the stats this morning. Tolle and Early have been the two best. Like, I know Tolle has only pitched one start this year, but between Tolle and Early, they have the best starter stats right now on the team. Crochet's not pitching well. Johan Oviedo, which was one of their acquisitions, isn't well. They pushed Brian Bayo back. Brian Bayo was supposed to pitch last night, and they pushed him back. So, again, I don't know. There's just something going on there. And again, who knows? Again, I understand you trying to be sustainable in Boston, and I get it. I love the idea, but if you don't go for it in life, you're gonna be the bridesmaids more often than not than the bride.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to make the offense better, in my opinion, this winter. Wilson Contreras just unfortunately isn't really a needle mover at this point in his career, and Caleb Durbin's really been struggling. And we talked about it this winter, how they needed Crochet to carry the rotation and push for the Cy Young like he did last year. And he is just not doing that so far this season. They play the Orioles in Baltimore this weekend, and then early next week they got the Blue Jays out in Toronto. So it doesn't get any easier for them. And Fangraphs right now gives them only a 5.3% chance of winning the division and a 32.7% chance of making the playoffs. They're already 7 games behind the New York Yankees in the East. So things are grim right now. The good news for them is they have a ton of games left and they can always turn it around. And Roman Anthony's got the back, so that's not good news. They gotta figure that thing out too.
All they need is maybe they get Roman Anthony a torpedo bat or something at this point. Maybe that works. Well, hey, like you said, the AL's wide open. It's not like anybody in the West is running away with anything, and then the Central is essential. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to get in as a wild card team at this point.
Yep. All right, let's move to the National League. Let's talk about another team in one of the East divisions, the National League East. The Philadelphia Phillies, man. They are struggling. Phillies have lost what?
Keep saying that stuff that we were talking about earlier in the preseason. I love being right. I love it. I told people that the Phillies are going to be a dog. Like, they weren't going to be great this year, and they're like, oh man. And look at them. What did we say on Sunday night's podcast? What did we say?
Yeah. So the Phillies, they go into Wrigley. They get swept in a 4-game set. The Phillies have now lost 9 straight games. The Cubs have actually won 9 straight as well, or 9 straight on the complete opposite side of things. Kind of similar vibes to the Yankee-Red Sox series. We'll talk about the Cubs. We'll lead with the Phillies, like I said, who have lost 9 straight. They cut Taijuan Walker on Thursday morning. They're eating another $15 million of dead money on that contract. It is their longest losing streak for the Phillies since 2019. They have not lost 10 games in a row since their 11-game losing streak in 1999. Before Edmundo Sosa's RBI double in the 5th inning on Thursday, the Phillies were 0 for their last 26 with runners in scoring position. And the most innings the starting rotation has given them this season is 6.2 from Jesus Luzardo in Colorado on April 4th. Right now, the Phillies are 8-17. They're 9.5 games back in the National League East. They have a 9.6% chance of winning that division still, and only a 37.9% chance of making the playoffs, according to Fangraphs. Luis, what are you thinking on the Phillies?
Well, just be honest, my guy. What did we say on Sunday night? The Cubs were going to come to town and give them the B2A session. I mean, it's getting hot. Wrigleyville is going to be on fire this summer at the 120 starts. Hey, I'm telling you, the Cubs are the Cubs. The Cubs are one of the MLB's elite, the NL's elite. And currently, we said the Phillies are an aging team. It's boom or bust with that lineup. Again, homer or bust. You look at their pitchers, and honestly, I kind of alluded to it, but there's only one guy you really trust in this rotation. That's Christopher Sanchez. And aside from that, Jesus Luzardo, 6.91 ERA this far in 27 innings and a third. Aaron Nola has a 5 ERA. Taijuan Walker was at a 9.13, and he got cut. It's just not good. And then you lose Johan Duran. Again, the only series that they've won this season have been versus bad baseball teams. And, it's an aging roster. They're not playing good ball. And the signs were there. You would have been an idiot to take, the over on this team.
Look, there's no one in this lineup. No one in the lineup hitting outside of Harper and Schwarber, really. Like Turner.
Well, that's the same thing. It's an aging roster. It's again, they get rid of Nicolas Castellanos and they go get Adolis Garcia, who just had an equally as poor season, who had a poor season last year. They expect, JT Realmuto, re-sign JT Realmuto. JT Realmuto's bat hasn't been there. I'm sorry.
No, he's hurt.
They get Bo Bichette. They keep dangling Alec Boehm for every offseason. I think I'm going to grow old, and die before Alec Boehm gets traded, because every single year it's an Alec Boehm trade rumor. It's just like
Boehm's dealing with a lot of crap off the field, so the Phillies fans have been giving him some slack, which I think is fair.
But they always give him flack. That's the problem. Boehm's a good player. It's just, I'm sorry that he's not 300, 330. I'm telling you right now, Boehm's going to end up in Kansas City or in some central block team, and he's just going to be a great player. I just don't get it. It hasn't been the first time that the Phillies fans have given him flack at all. It's just tiresome that, he's always in these rumors. And, it's like, one, we understand that he's not an all-world third baseman, but two, he's not a crappy third baseman.
He could be good in the right spot. Maybe it's just not working out in Philly. Again, like, he's just got a lot of stuff distracting him this year. I feel like I look at the Phillies and compare them to the Mets, another team in the same division that's really been struggling, and the off seasons that they had, where essentially the Phillies said, okay, we're going to run it back with the same roster, and the Mets said, we're going to change everything from top to bottom, essentially. I feel like the Phillies should have taken that approach, and the Mets should have maybe made some smaller tweaks, but ultimately have ran it back with the roster that they had last season. Because remember, the Mets were one of the best teams in baseball through June. Now, there might have been the clubhouse issues that have been well documented, but I just think, I know the Yankees were running it back, but I thought the Yankees were a better team than the Phillies last season, especially after the trade deadline. The Phillies running it back just made less sense to me, because they're a much older team. At least that's how it feels. Now, on the pitching side of things, you mentioned Christopher Sanchez. He has been one of their better pitchers, but he's also been hitting around, man. He's been getting hit around. He gave up 12 hits yesterday in Chicago, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs. I don't want to completely give up on this team in the wild card sense. I think the division is over. I don't think they're winning the division. I'm not going to give up on them in the playoffs until we see what they look like with Zach Wheeler. If Zach Wheeler comes back and he's fully healthy, he's Cy Young caliber Zach Wheeler, this team can still be good. Luzardo has a bad ERA, but he has been getting a little bit unlucky. Andrew Painter could be a legitimate piece. Like the rotation can still be solid with Wheeler in it, but if Wheeler isn't 100% when he comes back, I don't know. Like, this might continue. I mean, they got Atlanta this weekend in Atlanta for a 3-game set. They're already 7 games back of Atlanta. That's a huge series that they could cook them in the division if they get swept.
No, I just think
they're 9.5 back, not 7.
I just think with the standings, how they are, and how competitive the NL is this year. Like I said, I think the Central is the best division in this NL. How competitive that is, I just don't think, like, they've already built themselves such a big hole that it's going to be hard to get out. I don't see the Cardinals and Pirates and Brewers just falling off the face of the earth and being terrible. And like, they need to get it together, but I think it's just too late.
I'll ask you this question: Is the National League East race over?
Is it over?
April 24th.
You're forcing me to sell Met stocks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Braves are probably the best team I've seen, like, aside from the Dodgers, not named the Dodgers, the best team I've seen play ball this year from top to bottom. Like I said last pod, I think the Braves, that you look at them and they look like a team you can see in late October.
Agreed on the Braves. Yeah, agree on the Braves. I can see them playing late into October. I don't want to fully give up on the Mets at this point. I know they have been terrible, but it's only April 24th. I know Lindor is going to be out for a long time, which we'll get into too, which is concerning. The Nationals or the Marlins aren't winning this division. They're in second and third right now, but I think the Phillies are done. I don't think the Phillies are winning the division. The Mets are 8.5 back right now. Fangraphs gives them only a 12% chance of winning the division. Fangraphs gives the Braves a 75.5% chance of winning the division as things stand right now on Friday, April 24th. I still think the Mets could swing it somehow, some way. Because they were playing poorly over the course of their long 12-game losing streak, but there wasn't like one specific thing that everyone could point to as to the reason why they were playing so poorly. So maybe the Mets can come back and take this division, but I think the Phillies are done. And it's really looking good for the Braves. It could not have been a better start to the season for Atlanta. I want to talk about this series.
Braves country, my guy. It's all about Braves country. Walt Weiss. I mean, I was looking at their thing right now. They've only lost one series this year. And it's not even a loss. It's a split. They split against Arizona. They won every single series this year.
Yeah,
they got something special down there in Atlanta, up in the north side. I'm telling you, this team, if they get healthy, make the right moves, we're going to normalize this thing, in sports and NBA, you're like, oh, players, I want to be playing on Father's Day. We're going to normalize in baseball. We want them to play on Halloween.
Yeah. Braves want to be playing on Halloween. That's a good way to frame it. Drake Baldwin, if we're talking Braves, 7 home runs on the season, hitting .318 with a .943 OPS. Matt Olson, 7 home runs on the season with a .951 OPS. Michael Harris, 6 home runs with a .921 OPS. Ozzie Albies, 5 home runs with an .817 OPS. Dom Smith, a .990 OPS. Austin Riley has 3 home runs. He's kind of turning things around. Acuna hasn't been good. Acuna's hitting .233 with a .672 batting average and only 1 home run on the season. The Braves are playing this well, and their best player has not been good. That is a terrifying thought if you're a National League rival, because once him and Riley really get it going, I don't know, man, it's giving me Braves 2023 lineup vibes.
Are we getting 98 Braves vibes without the pitching?
They don't have the pitching, and that's the one thing that scares me about them holding up over the course of the season.
Well, I mean, hey, they had a, perfect segue this week.
Wait. Sorry. I know it's a good segue, but I do want to hit on the Cubs before we move on to the other stuff.
Okay, you have to have your Cubs.
Well, the Cubs are on a 9-game winning streak. They're going to out to LA to play the Dodgers this weekend, and I got to say, the ivy is starting to finally come alive in Wrigley, and that's kind of when it starts to feel like spring in Chicago. So the vibes were good in Chicago this week. Shota Minaga continues to be really good. He went 7 innings on Tuesday, only 1 earned run. He has a 2.17 ERA so far this season. The one thing they need to work on maybe is hitting with runners in scoring position. They were 2 for 14 and left 17 runners on base on Tuesday, but still won that game 7-4. They won the crazy comeback game 8-7 on Thursday. Edward Cabrera was good. He said this is the best team he's ever been on. Ian Happ, 7 home runs on the season. Michael Busch, who had really been struggling to start the season, has home runs now in 2 straight games. Seiya Suzuki, he came back from the injured list. He had 3 home runs in this series in 3 straight games, the first 3 of his season. Nico Horner hitting .304 with an .871 OPS. He has 4 home runs this season. Like, the Cubs are freaking raking, which is great because their pitching is still a little bit concerning to me. I mean, they've been kind of patching it together. Matthew Boyd returned on Wednesday. Colin Ray's been good for them. Their hitting stats are all in the top 10 in Major League Baseball. They're first in OBP, 3rd in runs, 5th in home runs, 3rd in average. They're just knocking the cover off the ball. And the statistics for the pitching rotation have been good despite them being thin with all of the injuries. So remains to be seen if they can continue this good run of form with the rotation. I think the lineup is there to stay. This team is really good, 16-9. They're tied with the Reds right now for first place in the division, but Fangraphs gives them the best chance, the Cubs, of winning that division. I think it was their first 9-game winning streak since 2016. We all know what happened that year in Chicago.
Yeah, this year is Cubs country. Is that what y'all call y'all? Cubs country?
No one's. I don't think anybody says Cubs country.
Because it's Braves country. Because Braves country, like they love saying that on Braves TV, on Braves Vision,
Wrigleyville.
Yeah, Braves Vision. So,
and we know the Cubs play good defense too.
Hey, pay Ian Happ. That's a segue. Let's talk about some big boppers. Talk about Munetaka Murakami, the Southside Samurai, the Chicago White Sox.
That one's been kind of shot down a little bit. I guess people don't like that one, even though he approved it. So they're calling him Mooney. They think it's insensitive a little bit. So I guess we're not going to use it.
Mooney sounds super Midwest. That is very Midwest. Like,
people say Mooney is a nickname, but my opinion, like, it's not really a nickname. Like, SGA is not a nickname. That's just his initials. Like, Mooney, his last name is Murakami, so I don't know. Munetaka Murakami, I don't know. But yeah, he's been mashing. Sorry.
Mooney sounds like a nickname that you would get from like somebody in Indiana on a cornfield. Not gonna lie to you, that's just what it sounds like to me. Super Midwest. But hey, Mooney, Munetaka Murakami, Southside Samurai. White Sox have won 2 out of 3. He hit a homer on Tuesday night's game, going 3 for 5, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and then Wednesday he hit another homer in the loss, 11-7. He homered in the 5th straight game, and his average home run distance is 415 feet, which ties the rookie record right now. Jordan averages 389. Murakami is also the 13th rookie since the 1900s to go out deep in 5 straight, tied for the White Sox franchise record, marked with 6 other players. William, are we seeing a lot of Munetaka jerseys out there in Chicago, or no?
He's one of the talks of the league, and there is a lot of buzz around Murakami in Chicago for sure. He has been probably, I would say Murakami has probably been the most electric hitter in all of baseball this season. He's hitting 253, so the batting average has gone up with a 992 OPS. And man, he's not just hitting home runs. He has 10 on the season. He's hitting tape measure shots. Like you said, his average home run distance is 415 feet. For comparison, Yordan Alvarez, who leads the league in home runs, his average home run distance is 389 feet. And Murakami, the average exit velocity, 96.4 miles per hour. If you look at the leaderboards in terms of all of these hard hit rates in Major League Baseball, he has the 4th highest average exit velocity and the 5th highest hard hit percentage. I mean, he is knocking the cover off the ball. He is so much fun to watch. I took the under on his home runs. It was like 26 just to be safe because I didn't know what to expect from him this year, but he looks ready, man. I mean, the walk rate is really good, 20%. He is striking out a lot. There's a lot of swing and miss, but when he's making contact, it is hard contact, and he's hitting the ball extremely far. I think it's safe to say through the first month of the season that this Murakami experiment has worked out. Unfortunately for the White Sox, they only got him to that cheap 2-year deal, and you know what that means in a couple of years. You know where he's going to be headed. It rhymes with, well, it's Los Angeles. I don't know. I couldn't think of a rhyme.
It doesn't rhyme with Los Angeles?
Dos Angeles.
Or what do you mean?
He's a Dodger in 2 years. I butchered that. He's a Dodger in 2 years.
You were pressing that Max Muncy role in the lineup. Hey, the Japanese national team's forming up in Dodgers. You know, like I said, you got to prove yourself in the majors before you get invited to be a part of Ohtani and Friends, baseball team. It's like LeBron and Friends in NBA. It's Ohtani and Friends, LeBron has the banana boat. Ohtani has the WBC crew that he forms together. Like Roki was cool enough. Like they're like, Roki, we know you're like not that great. We only know you got like 2 to 3 pitches, but like you're gonna come be a part of my team.
Yeah, I mean, they want to play there, so I get it. Murakami, there was legit concerns with the swing and miss and the fastball, hitting fastballs, heading into his MLB career.
And the big thing is that he's been able to adapt to America, which I think that's something that's very underrated, as we see Tetsuya Amai has not been able to do.
Yeah,
like I said, I think Chicago is more forgiving than Houston in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. On the fastball this season, Murakami is hitting 286 with a 786 slug, and 7 of his 10 home runs have come on the fastball. So he has been very, very good against the fastball this season, which was the main concern with him heading into the year. So shout out to Murakami. Going to continue to watch him. And, we can talk about the White Sox series against the D-backs. The White Sox have been hitting the ball. The White Sox won that series 2 out of 3 against the D-backs. You mentioned Murakami. I talked about him enough. But guys like Colson Montgomery, he's been hitting home runs. He's up to 7 on the season. Andrew Benintendi had a 3-run home run in the 9th yesterday on Thursday against Paul Sewald to give the Sox a 4-1 lead. Miguel Vargas has been hitting some home runs. He's got 5 on the season. Ildemaro Vargas for the D-backs has been really good. And Arenado had a 4-for-4 game on Wednesday, and that 11-7 D-backs win. But yeah, the White Sox score 11 on Tuesday, 7 on Wednesday, and then 4 on Thursday. Dean Martin, the Sox pitcher, one of the better arms so far this season. He has a 2.01 ERA, went 6.1 innings on Thursday, only allowing 1 earned run. So the Sox have been pretty good. They've kind of been like what we expected. I know they still have a losing record. They're not going to push for the playoffs per se this year, but they're 10-15. That's, they continue to show signs of improvement. And I feel like they're taking like the next steps that we wanted to see them do this season. Right now, Fangraphs only gives them a 1.1% chance of making the playoffs, so it's probably not going to happen. But they have been playing good ball.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is the White Sox have a better win percentage than the Red Sox, the Royals, the Astros, the Mets, and the Phillies. And the Rockies. Who would have ever thought of that, at this point of the season? And again, it fully crushes. It doesn't crush, but I see this narrative played a lot, that money means wins in baseball. Not really. I just named you a couple teams with insane payrolls that are doing worse than a team with a smaller payroll. It's the Reinsdorf family with, they're not spending buku's amounts of cash out here.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're 5th in home runs this season too, it's good. Let's talk about another left-handed slugger. Let's talk about Yordan Alvarez in the Houston Astros. Yordan leads the league right now in home runs. He has 11 on the season. I think it's fair to say right now he's the MVP frontrunner in the American League. He's hitting .347 with a 1.245 OPS, 11 home runs, 779 slug. His average exit velocity is in the 94th percentile. His savant page is a sea of red. He's only striking out 9% of the time, which ranks in the 98th percentile, and he's walking at a 16% clip. He is terrifying as a hitter in that lineup. I would just walk him every time at this point, honestly. The Astros win that series in Cleveland. They should have swept them, but their pen blew it on Tuesday, giving up 6 runs in the 8th. Eniel De Los Santos and Brian King blew it there. Parker Messick had a decent start for Cleveland. And Yordan had a 2-run shot on Wednesday. That was the difference. Peter Lambert gave the Astros a good start, 6 scoreless innings on Wednesday. Still don't really think much of the Astros as a team right now with all the pitching injuries and all that stuff. But Yordan, best player in the league right now.
Hey, Houston has a pulse. You said it best. Again, for the guards, tough series to lose, but again, it's the Central. You can have a couple good weeks in the Central and be up there at the start. But Detroit's getting hot, and we'll talk about them later.
Detroit's getting hot. I think, we share the same opinion about that division. And then the other left-handed slugger that I wanted to talk about today, none other than James Wood. He has been, again, good this season. Maybe he's a first half type of guy because last year he was really good in the first half and then struggled in the second half. He has 10 home runs on the season, which is second in all of baseball, with a 1.010 OPS. Most of his home runs are to the opposite field, which I thought is good. His savant page is, again, a sea of red. Does strike out a lot, 30% of the time, but he's walking at an 18% clip, which is really strong. Had like a 420 or 440-foot bomb to left field the other day, last Friday against the Giants. This is a good start for James Wood. And the Nationals have been a fun team to watch. They score a lot of runs. I just wanted to highlight James Wood, who's been very good for the Nationals this season. We talked about the Braves this series, but the Braves did take 3 of 4 in Washington. Raisel Iglesias did hit the injured list, though.
James Wood is the only reason you watch a Nationals game. Just putting that out there. And I know last year he struggled after the Derby. Again, we see the Derby slump happen to a lot of players after they win the Derby or participate. It's kind of like, the reason why players don't want to partake because it adjusts their swings. I know some swings are getting swung up. They adjust their launch angle, which I was actually looking at. Could be something in the future for a Substack article we could be writing soon, William. I was examining launch angles and home runs and fly balls. And I was seeing some things with the data. So very interesting. I'm not ready to release my final.
Okay.
It was just something I was just looking at some numbers. I was like, oh, interesting.
Keep those hidden. The Nationals are second in runs right now in all of baseball and dead last in starting pitching ERA. So they're going to hit home runs. They're fifth in home runs. They're going to score runs, but they're going to give up a lot of runs. So maybe they're fun in that regard. But something about that stadium, like it just doesn't have any character. So it's not fun to watch games in Nationals Park.
Yeah, dead vibes out there.
Yeah.
It's just like, what do you do with that team to make them better? Like that team might be like, I clump them, the Rockies actually have like, this is going to sound crazy. The Rockies actually have players that are like solid, like the TJ Rumfields of the world, Hunter Goodmans. Like in the Nationals, you only got CJ Abrams and James Wood and Keibert Ruiz. That's it.
Dalen Lyle. Cade Cavalli had 10 strikeouts yesterday. Like he's solid, but I think they have more pieces than Colorado. But I also think, they are bottom 5 in terms of talent in the league. James Wood is kind of like the Ferrari in the crappy house.
Bugatti and the Bugatti in the trailer park.
Yeah,
meme. Yeah,
he's really.
He's
a really good player.
Good year, and that's a guy who they floated out in trade talks. But no, those are some boppers. Let's do some games. A lot of these series were kind of just meh games for us. I actually watched some. For example, the Baltimore-Kansas City series. Kansas City continues to struggle hitting the ball. They finally get some runs, but then they can't close the game. Monday, they lost in 12 against the Orioles 7-5. Lucas Ursig was a strike away, and boom, Sammy Basayo hit a single to tie it. Then boom, grand slam by Leody Taveras, and the 12th was the difference. Game ended up being 7-5. Royals won 6-5, snapping an 8-game losing streak with a walk-off pass ball by Ryan Helsley. And then Wednesday, the Orioles won 8-6. Again, the Royals get runs, but then they can't score. But then the pitching can't keep it. It could just be one of those tough seasons in Kansas City, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about the Royals right now. I mean, they are tied with the Phillies for the worst record in baseball. Witt's been fine. He's been elite defensively, but he's not like at that MVP pace that we maybe thought he was going to be. Again, it's super early. It's only the first month of the season. He can still turn things on, and that would change the trajectory for this team. But right now, he's been good, not great, and the pitching hasn't been good for Kansas City. They're kind of middling. Now, the good news for them is they are in the American League Central, which could be a winnable division for them, but they're not like in the NL East right now or anything where the Braves got off to a hot start. But they're just kind of man. And same with the Orioles. They're 12 and 13.
Like I said, I don't know how to feel about them. I come on weekly until you get a good deep dive on. There's just something off about them to me.
Yeah, now Jackson Holiday, the hamate thing, he had an issue in his rehab, so his return is going to be delayed. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about either of these teams right now, but it's still early. Here's a question for you. At what point do you stop saying that it's early and the team just is what it is?
I was about to say that because it's like we're a month of the season in. Maybe by June, and like they are who they are by June, mid-May.
I think by Memorial Day. Memorial Day is kind of, that weekend is when you kind of have a sense,
or Mother's Day if you really want to be harsh.
Yeah.
So
because that's like basically two full months of baseball at that point.
Damn near, yeah. Reds played the Tampa Bay Rays. Reds won 2 out of 3. Wednesday, the Rays won 6-1. Nick Martinez was an 8 strong, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, 95 pitches. Again, Tuesday, the Reds had 5 straight wins. Ke'Bryan Hayes finally hit a home run, and Steven Matz gave up back-to-back homers to Ke'Bryan Hayes and Dane Myers. Yeah, and then Ellie De La Cruz hit 2 homers. So
you might as well retire after giving up back-to-back home runs to Ke'Bryan Hayes and Dane Myers. That's Ke'Bryan Hayes was like hitting below 100.
We talked about it. Like it was terrible. Like he was hitting like out of 53 plate appearances, 1 hit. It was like I can only imagine what the bleachers would do in New York if
Oh my
that was
goodness.
happening, if that was Ryan McMahon. Like,
Goodness.
so
Hey,
yeah.
in Cincinnati, Ellie is off to a hot start, 265 batting average with an 879 OPS, 8 home runs on the season. He's been good.
What are his splits? Is he hitting better from?
Yeah, I got it. He's against lefties, so as a right-handed hitter, he's hitting 300 with a 1.156 OPS and 5 home runs. And then against righties, so as a left-handed hitter, he's hitting 250 with a 764 OPS and 3 home runs, 22 strikeouts as a left-handed hitter, and 11 strikeouts as a right-handed hitter. So he's been better as a righty this season.
Yeah.
And last year, just for comparison, he was better against righties. So he's better as a left-handed hitter last year, much better. So interesting early on.
Marlins played the Cardinals. Marlins went in 2 out of 3. Big series win here in Miami. Jordan Walker extended his hit streak on Monday, but again on Wednesday the Marlins won 4-1 as the Cardinals won Tuesday 5-3. Again, when you look at the Miami Marlins, don't sleep on them now. At home, they've made Lone Depot Park a fortress. They are 10-6 at home. Now, when they go away out of the fortress that is Lone Depot Park, the roof has been open the past couple of days. I have passed by the stadium on my way to the gym, and the roof has been open. Again, they're 2-7 on the road. So again, the friendly confines that is Lone Depot Park is a game changer. We talk about Wrigley, we talk about Fenway, Yankee Stadium, Citi Field, Dodger Stadium, but I think we need to put Lone Depot Park in that conversation as fortresses in Major League Baseball.
Put some respect on Lone Depot's name. I got nothing from this series. I was watching the highlights and almost fell asleep.
You want to laugh. You're like, what type of blasphemy is this? Lone Depot Park is a fortress. When the roof is open, the guys get a different type of juice.
Maybe it's such a tough place to play because absolutely nobody goes to the games, and it's just so jarring for players to play in front of an empty stadium, basically.
Is the Miami Marlins Park the equivalent of Memphis hotels in Major League Baseball?
Bruh.
Hey, at least our commissioner, Manfred, isn't being like, hey, the Marlins should go play games in Orlando for preseason, for spring training games in Orlando or in Jacksonville, and then can become Florida's team.
Yeah, get out of here with that crap, Adam Silver, playing Grizzlies games in Nashville. I'd riot. That's ridiculous.
He has no idea what he's saying. I hope we boo the crap out of Silver when he comes to Memphis. But the biggest thing with the Marlins is Xavier Edwards and Otto Lopez both and hitting over 300 right now. Again, really strong ass lineup with those two involved. Liam Hicks is hitting the ball. Big Gus hitting bombs. It's a good team, man. And arms are on the way.
Yeah, they're calling pitches from the dugout, which is interesting too.
Yeah. Next series, we're going to talk about Toronto versus the Angels. Toronto wins 2 out of 3. Blue Jays won 5-2 and 4-2 on Tuesday. Jeff Hoffman nearly blows it again. Again, I think, if I remember correctly, as a Jeff Hoffman owner last year in fantasy baseball, the blown saves all started last year in Anaheim. And he almost did it, but he saved it. Louis Varland came in, finished the job, got the DP. And then Wednesday, Angels won 7-3. Jose Soriano, 5 innings pitched, 0 earned, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts. He's the first pitcher since the 1900 to allow 1 total run or fewer in his first 6 starts of a season. Trout hit a home run as well. Also, Dylan Cease on Monday, striking out 12 and 5.
Yeah, Cease, I think he leads the league in strikeout rate right now. At what point did the Blue Jays say, all right, Hoffman, you're not the closer anymore, and give it to Varland? Because
at what point do they realize that they should have signed a closer in the offseason, even if that was Edwin Diaz, who just went on the IL, which we'll talk later.
Right, we'll talk about that later. Look, the Blue Jays needed this series win. You obviously would have loved it if you were a Blue Jays fan, if they finished off the sweep. But right now, the Blue Jays are middle of the pack. They are, where is their record? Here it is, 10-14. Tons of injuries. they will turn it around. They've only played 24 games. They got a ton left. So this is still a playoff team in my book. Just tons of injuries. And Savage hasn't come back yet either. But yeah, I think the closer role is a concern for that team.
Very big concern. Mariners won 2 out of 3 against the A's Monday. A's won 6-4. A's won 2 out of 3. A's won on Monday 6-4, and Tuesday the A's won 5-2. Mariners continue to struggle. Brendan Donovan to the IL after leaving on Friday's game. He has a left groin strain. Cal Raleigh hit a homer Wednesday. Logan Gilbert had a weird play where the line drive got stuck in his jersey. Nick Kurtz hit a solo shot in the ninth off Andres Munoz, blowing the save. But again, Josh Naylor came and saved the day. I mean, look, for as bad as the pitching that is in Sacramento, the A's are still in first place.
Yeah, the A's are still in first place. The Mariners have not really turned it on yet. Now, the good news for the Mariners, if you're a fan, is Cal Raleigh has homered in 3 straight games. He's up to 5 on the season. So if you're a Mariners fan, you're hoping he can get it going. You have the pitching there.
Big dumper, big dumper.
Massive
big dumper. This, big dumper that.
Fangraphs still gives them the best odds to win the division and to make the playoffs in that division. They're only 2.5 back. So, the good news for Seattle, of course, is despite the super slow start from the offense, which is 24th in batting average right now, the rest of that division just hasn't been playing good baseball, so they can still turn things around. And I think Raleigh might finally be getting it going. Now, obviously, Brendan Donovan, the groin strain, that's not good news. They need him to be healthy. Their key offseason acquisition.
1-8 on the road for the Mariners. So again, not great. Let's do some Tuesday series quickly. Tigers played the Brewers. Tigers winning 2 out of 3, winning on Wednesday 5-2 and Thursday 5-4. Skubal, not a great Skubal start on Thursday. 6 strong, 4 earned, 5 strikeouts. Torkelson walked it off on Thursday, hitting 2 consecutive home runs, his first 2 of the seasons. Again, the biggest note with the Tigers are a team that plays really well at home. They're 10-2 at home. They've made Comerica Park a fortress, and when they go on the road, they struggle. 4-10, but they're 7-3 in their last 10. So the Tigers are getting it going. Gary Sanchez hit a triple on Monday, and then the pen was not great for the Tigers on Tuesday. But again, the Tigers are playing some good ball. Brewers just gotta get through this patch of the season, try to get healthy, get Churio back, get Yelich back, figure some things out. Looks like they have a development win in Gary Sanchez, pro scouting, finding a guy and getting him there. So,
yeah, Sanchez, the triple, that was jarring to see. The Brewers, they had 16 hits on Tuesday, but they've been struggling as a team. They're last in that division. Like you said, they have the injuries. A little bit of a concern there. I think the stat was that they're the first team in Major League history to face reigning Cy Young winners in back-to-back games. They faced Skubal on Thursday, and then today, Friday, they're going back home to Milwaukee, and they're facing Paul Skeens. So that's a really tough stretch for them. On the Tiger side of things, 4th in rotation ERA right now. Casey Mize had a really good start on Wednesday, going 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 Ks. Right now, Fangraphs gives them a 56% chance of winning that division, which is by far the best in the AL Central. I just think that is probably deserved. We've never given up on the Tigers despite their slow start. I feel like they're clearly the best team in this division. And they go to Cincinnati this weekend for a fun series, and then next week they're in Atlanta, which should be, again, another interesting series. But I think, I don't know, I know they were up by 12 games last year and blew it, but I think this year could be the year that they really run away with this division, because I do feel like they're just kind of leaps and bounds better than every other team here.
Let's talk about the Mets. You know what comes in dozens, William?
Mets losses.
Eggs, donuts, roses come in dozens. I know that. Buying roses, they come in dozens. And Mets losses also come in dozens. Mets lost on Tuesday, 5-3, as Devin Williams blew it in the ninth. What a surprise. Nolan McLean, 6 2/3, 3 earned, 10 strikeouts, had a perfect game through 5. But 12 straight losses for the Mets. Like I said, bagels, donuts, eggs, roses, and Mets losses.
Now, they finally broke the losing streak on Wednesday. They won 3-2. And then they won on Thursday 10-8. Bo Bichette had a 3 RBI double in the 8th to give them the lead. They tried to blow that one. But unfortunately for the Mets, you get Soto back on Wednesday, and then you lose Lindor with a calf strain, the same injury that Soto had on Wednesday. It's his first injured list stint since 2021 and only the third of his career. It seems like it is much more significant than Soto's injury. They do not have a timetable for his return, but they expect him to miss significant time. Lindor was asked if he expects to be back before mid-season, and he said, "I hope so." The only timetable question he answered with any level of certainty was whether he expects to return at all this season, where he said 100%. Major concern for the Mets. I mean, that's terrible news. He got off to a slow start, but the prior games before the injury was kind of turning things on a little bit. Now he's down for a long time.
Maybe the Mets' future is brighter than the Yankees' future, as Soto thought. And I thought Mets player development. I thought Mets player development was great, man. What's up with that? Mark Vientos. I thought Mark Vientos was going to be the second coming of David Wright. I thought Jonah Tong was Dwight Gooden reincarnated. I thought Matt Harvey was walking through the door when Nolan McLean takes them out. Like, what's going on here, guys?
Hey, McLean's good.
Where's Noah Syndergaard? Where's Thor? Oh, wait, forgot. Didn't win a World Series then in 2014. You're the
2014, Mets. 2015. They're the Mets. And they might just be a cursed team franchise.
Mets, Jets, Nets, get used to it.
Yeah. He got the money.
I don't know. I don't know why I love dunking on the Mets right now. Like, yeah, look, I still have Mets stocks, but I don't know why I'm dunking on the Mets. Like, I just thought that post that the Twins admin made was hilarious.
Look, they're an easy target. And when they signed Soto, they acted like they were the Kings of New York, despite not doing anything on the field to prove it. And look, I know the Yankees have their flaws. Don't get me wrong. They haven't won a World Series since 2009. But at least the Yankees are good every single year, basically.
They have 27 World Series. How many World Series did the Mets have? Oh, wait, not 27.
2.
Exactly. 2. 2 divorces. Lord of the Rings, baby. 27 rings. Pittsburgh and Texas. Rangers won 2 out of 3. They won 5-1 and 6-1 on Tuesday and Thursday. Pirates won 8-4. Oneil Cruz hit a nuke 432-foot nuke to the top of the foul pole in the ninth to make it 8-4. 116 miles an hour, hardest hit ball this season. Excuse me. Padres played the Rockies this weekend. Padres won 2 out of 3. Padres won 1-0 on Tuesday and 10-8 on Thursday. Padres blew an 8-4 lead across the 8th and 9th innings, but they get it done. Mason Miller's scoreless inning streak to 33 2/3. William, any takeaways from those two series?
How about Mickey Moniak for the Rockies, former number 1 overall pick in 2016? So he's our high school class. He's hitting .324 through his first 72 plate appearances with a 1.097 OPS and 8 home runs. He's been very good. Now, the underlying metrics maybe not great, striking out 22% of the time, doesn't walk a lot, chasing a lot, but he is barreling balls up and has a good average exit velocity. Not playing good defense, but it's a good start for Moniak. That's exciting. Mason Miller, like you said, continues his dominance. And I got to show you this Rockies fan, maybe the catch of the season in the stands. I'm putting it up right now on the YouTube. Foul ball over there into right field. Look at this. Ball bounces down and then he goes flying into the stands.
Bro, get that man a contract. Get that man a contract to the Browns or something. Like, who needs a wide receiver? Bro, get him a 10-day. Get him on the practice squad on the Broncos, ASAP, man. Or hell, man. I know the Mets have so many injuries that he can go play the outfield for the Mets right now.
That was a hell of a catch. I wonder if he had any bruised ribs after that. I thought that was a funny moment there. But yeah, good series win for the Padres. They keep it going. And Randy Vasquez has been very good this season. 7 scoreless innings in his start. You mentioned the Cruz home run. That was one of the more impressive home runs I've ever seen off the top of the foul pole for the Pirates, but they do lose that series.
Then finally, Dodgers played the Giants. I think the biggest news out of the series was that Edwin Diaz will have surgery on Wednesday to remove loose bodies from his elbow. That was this Wednesday. Velo was dropped to 95.7. He had a tough start on Sunday at Coors. Again, that happened. Ohtani might rest a little bit, according to Dave Roberts. Giants won 3-0 and 3-1 on Tuesday. Dodgers won 3-0. Glasnow was great, 8 strong, 0 earned, 9 strikeouts. Webb was also strong, pitching 7 strong, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts. Again, like we said, Dodgers winning 105, 110 games. It's kind of crazy because we just know that whenever there's an injury, they're just gonna rest them. And here, William on YouTube, or if you're watching on Spotify, Patrick Bailey hitting a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 7th off of Jack Dreyer, which was a difference. As
for a guy that
pitched, yeah,
for a guy that doesn't hit home runs a lot, this was a pimp job, and the ball didn't necessarily clear the wall by that much. But that was the difference in the Wednesday game. Like you said, Ohtani might be resting.
It's not an Ahmed Rosario pimp job.
Yeah. Dave Roberts said that Ohtani might be resting a little bit when he starts, just kind of, keep his stamina. His on-base streak ended at 53, Ohtani, so he tied for second longest in Dodgers history. Yamamoto, 7 innings, 3 earned on Tuesday. The Giants win. So the Giants win the series. You also had the Dalton Rushing drama where Jung-Hoo Lee was out at home, got tagged out by Rushing. I think it was on Tuesday, and it looked like Lee might have been a little bit injured. Dalton Rushing walks off the field, and he says clearly, F that guy or F him. And then on the Thursday game, Rushing gets drilled in the ribs by Logan Webb. I think that was very clearly intentional. And then there's a ground ball by House-Young Kim, double play ball. Rushing is running to second and clearly takes out the shortstop there. And dirty play. I thought that was a dirty play by Rushing. Rushing's been crushing it so far this season. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. And then he had the thing last weekend with the Rockies where he's saying it was fishy that they're hitting all these home runs.
Fishy. I mean, the Rockies, a lot of people were came at him for it. It was oh, you're calling the Rockies out? Really?
I know.
Like us? Like us? Really us?
It's like that meme from Lil Sasquatch when he gets drafted. He's like, me? They picked me?
Yeah.
Look, last point that I want to make before we get out. If the Dodgers' other guys, their non-superstars, are hitting like this for the whole season and into the playoffs, it's over. It's GG's. Right now, Max Muncy, 8 home runs on the season, 981 OPS. Dalton Rushing threw 31 at-bats, 7 home runs with a 1.647 OPS. Andy Pages, 337 batting average, 939 OPS. Right now, Kyle Tucker, he's been okay. Mookie Betts is injured. Freddie Freeman was on the paternity list, and he's been not great this season. 297, 861 OPS. That's good. Ohtani hasn't kicked it into Ohtani gear yet. So if Max Muncy's going to be doing this, if Dalton Rushing and Pages and just the other guys for the Dodgers continue to hit like this, and in the rotation, Robleski is solid for them. Maybe Emmett Shaheen gets it going. That's why they're the Dodgers.
And we'll be back Sunday night. I mean, Yankees got a series this weekend. William, who we got this weekend?
Down in Texas, Houston Astros.
Well, Jordan, of course, as I always say, you ever need a get right series, just play a New York team, and you'll be back all right. The Cubs did that, and they're fine. A's did that twice, and look at them. So, might be what the doctor ordered in Texas. Hopefully, they don't have a lot of barbecue, but
yeah, we'll see. Should be a fun weekend of baseball. We'll be back on Sunday, like you said. Thank you all for listening. For my good friend over there, Luis Bronco, I'm William Locke. Catch you guys on the weekend. Till then, peace out.